Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily forecast. Thanks for tuning in last night. A lot of you guys watched us on our live coverage from my guest room at my house, going over the big storms in Dallas. Also, thanks to our sponsors, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor Show for making all these videos possible. And of course, yeah, storm season started in Dallas last night. We had 2 rounds of storms. We had one, which we did that live coverage for, which mostly stayed just outside the main core of the Metroplex, and then another round late last night. A lot of you folks might have actually woken up to it about 3:30 in the morning. Big time storms happening. We'll go over, recap the storm a little bit in just a second. We got some more storms expected this afternoon, this evening, possibly some tornadoes here in the southeast. We'll go over that as well. And we're going to look ahead a little bit, see what is coming down the pipeline after this event pushes off the coast. So before we get to that, we're going to talk about upcoming events. The Highway to Hail event is ongoing right now in Dallas, and I'm going to venture a guess that turnout's a little bit lower, just like probably viewership on this video. A lot of you guys are out working the storms right now. So if you miss out on the Dallas event, you want to know how the rest of the storm season is going to go, you can check us out in Denver, Chicago, Nashville, or Orlando. So that's February 24th, so on Thursday in Denver. I assure you it's not going to hail Wednesday night in Denver. It's going to be very cold. Chicago on March 1st, March 4th in Nashville, and then you'll get our first thoughts on hurricane season in the Orlando event on March 8th. So again, great event. If you guys are missing us here in Dallas and you still want to know what that 2022 forecast is going to be, we will do a video of this after this tour is done as well. We also have another event coming up. This one's also in DFW. This is going to be next Monday, February 28th. That's right, that's Monday, right? I hope it's Monday. At the One Industry, One Model event. This is Jen Silver's event. A lot of great speakers at this one. I know there's a whole word vomit dump here of information, but I assure you it's a great event. She is really changing how the industry works here, and everyone kind of stay in their own lanes with the handling of claims. So great info. Derek will be talking about that as well. So I guess if you miss out on the forecast in the Dallas event now and you still got some time on February 28th, you can come check this out as well. Derek will be at that. So meat and potatoes, we're going to talk about what happened here, the hailstorm highlight from last night. We upgraded this early this morning as a storm happened very early this morning. A 4-star map here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This was especially impactful in the Frisco and McKinney, Little Elm area. Decatur, just the southeastern sections of Decatur had a very impactful storm. That was about 9 p.m. and I realized I didn't put any pictures on this graphic, but I assure you we saw some crazy photos coming out of the Decatur area of what looks like 2-inch hail. There was a high volumes of hail up to that 2-inch in diameter that blew out a bunch of siding, ton of windows in the Decatur area. And there was also reports of a lot of windows getting busted out in the Frisco area. Even though this is an orange swath, it was high volumes of hail. So tons of hail falling, and a lot of which is at that golf ball size. 87,000, almost 88,000 homes impacted with that. Again, thanks for C3 Group for sponsoring this hailstorm highlight. Again, we had a big time storm, 4-star map. Honestly, it probably would have been a 5-star map, a couple other cities, but Dallas, you guys set the bar a little bit higher. So storm season is off and rolling here across the DFW Metroplex, and we're here to help you guys out. You can check this out on our website, hailtrace.com. Pretty easy to find, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us as well. So storm reports overall yesterday, for some reason, my system here only wants to show 3 storm reports from very early this morning, even though we had significantly more storm reports. We had 27 reports actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex from last night. There was also a storm very early this morning, a little sneaky one. This is all nickel-size hail reports. We did make a swath in Elgin, Illinois of some isolated quarter-size hail. It was about 38 degrees when this happens, so hard hail for sure on both fronts. So again, a sneaky little storm in the Chicago area. You guys probably can't work the roofs too much because it is cold as crap in Chicago right now, but once everything thaws, you guys will be able to go check that out. So overall storm report totals, this is new. We brought this back finally. We have storms happening again. There was a tornado yesterday in Arkansas, 27 large hail reports, almost exclusively in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, 24 high wind reports. So that brings our total since January 1, which we have not shown yet. We had 74 tornadoes so far this year, a lot of which happened the first couple days of January. 46 hail reports, so about half of all of the reports that have happened so far this year happened last night. And then we are at about 308 high wind reports. Where does that compare to year to date? Last year I had it compared to 2020. This year I'm hoping we're a little bit more optimistic as we hopefully outpace 2021, the abysmal year of 2021 in terms of raw numbers. We are right now well ahead of 2021 in tornadoes year to date. We are pretty much on right on point here with 2021 for hail. Big note, of course, we did have a fair bit of hail in January of 2021, and then February was pretty much flatlined all the way till the 25th, and then the rest of the year, not so much. So I'm going to guess that we're going to outpace this number pretty quickly throughout the year here, as it was a 20-year low, and then we're way outpacing the high wind reports so far year to date. So we'll keep this occasionally coming up here. We'll have it updating the background every single day, but likely we'll just pop this up when something interesting shows up. So what's happening right now? Well, we have a ton of precipitation here. We got snow up in the northern plains near Minneapolis, got some mixed precipitation in Michigan, Mitten, and then a ton of rain here in Ohio and extending all the way down into Tennessee, where the Nashville area just got hit with a sub-severe line of storms, and this is going to be one of our triggers for severe weather today. So we have quite a bit of storm activity, likely staying sub-severe winds, so probably winds in the 40s, and this is easing to the south and to the east, but off to the south in sections of Alabama and Mississippi is very warm, is very humid, very unstable, so we could see some isolated storms forming this afternoon. If we look at that current temperature across the country though, man, talk about 24 hours makes a hell of a difference, right? It is cold here in Oklahoma, and it's now cold in Dallas as well. The cold front came through this morning, a little bit after daybreak. It's now 39 degrees in Dallas here at the noon hour. It was much warmer at 6 a.m. than it is right now in Dallas, and this is quite the Arctic blast. We're not going to see any severe weather after this, so I'm sure a lot of folks who might need to do some roofing, it might be too cold to do roofing in Dallas tomorrow, as we also have bringing up the watches and warnings. So 24 hours ago in Oklahoma and Texas, it was in the 70s and 80s. We had severe thunderstorm watches. Well, now we have a winter weather advisory for the DFW Metroplex for Oklahoma City, extending all the way down to San Angelo. Wind chill advisory for most of Kansas and Oklahoma, and a winter storm watch for eastern sections of Oklahoma, where you could end up seeing 3 to 7 inches of snow, possibly some ice, or actually, I think it's going to be more ice than snow if I'm thinking correctly. It looks like it's going to be a wintry mess here in Oklahoma and in Texas tomorrow, so completely different story than what we saw yesterday. So crazy times here in February, with a much more crazy pattern. I'd rather take this crazy pattern than what we saw last year, where it was just cold as hell and horrible for 2 straight weeks. I'll take 2 days of this, it's not a big deal. So jumping ahead here, assuming I got there we go. Future radar, what we're looking at for that potential for storms today, and getting away from the winter weather and looking at good old warm severe weather. Pushing ahead here, we're going to be focusing in on the northern half of Alabama and sections of Mississippi. Here at about 6 p.m., you see those isolated storms forming just east of Jackson, Mississippi. These could be severe, potentially having some tornadoes with them and some marginally severe hail. Pushing ahead a little bit to about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour, have some storms in the vicinity of Huntsville and near Birmingham, where I think that's going to be their main focus for severe weather today. Gusty winds, possibly a couple isolated tornadoes, and even some marginally severe hail. This will move on out by about midnight, and then things will get sub-severe by then. Just some heavy, probably much needed rain across a lot of the southeast. So that's the maximum hail forecast size for today. Definitely not yesterday. Yesterday we said up to golf ball size hail, but honestly, we did end up getting that to that hen egg. It overperformed a little bit in Dallas. I guess I shouldn't underestimate the DFW Metroplex for storms. Quarter size hail is what we're expecting for today. Much less active than what we were seeing last night and early this morning. Probably good news for some of us here at the office who've had some pretty long hours so far. This is where we're looking at for hail today. Again, that quarter, most likely quarter size hail is your maximum size, possibly a couple $50. Everywhere from Jackson to Huntsville to Birmingham, all could see some storms again this evening after about 6 p.m. This is going to be very isolated. I think we'll see probably under 10 reports total tonight. So very likely that we'll see much more in the way of wind and tornadoes for this evening. And this is what we're looking at for this evening here. After about 6 o'clock, we'll see that potential for some gusty winds up to about 65 miles an hour and a low chance for tornadoes everywhere you see the green pin. So from Birmingham, Chattanooga to Jackson, could be a couple spin-up tornadoes, but I think overall gusty winds, and even if you don't get supercells, you'll still get the gusty winds from the squall line that's just moved past Nashville. That might make it to severe limits, so around 60 miles an hour for today. Nothing too wild, and tomorrow, well, winter is going to be winning this battle. We're going to have no severe hail or wind really expected anywhere in the country. The cold air is going to dominate, and we're going to be really talking much more about the potential for some ice storm or snowstorm. It's possible, depending on how things play out here in Oklahoma City, we might be working remotely depending on if we have a bad ice storm or not. So we may not have a video tomorrow, just a little bit of a heads up. But no severe weather is expected. Looking ahead a little bit, so this is the future jet stream. What are we going to see once we get past this event? Well, this is what we're seeing right now. This is a pattern that is very conducive for severe weather. So once we move to Thursday here, this is 3 p.m. on Thursday, we have another system trying to kick out. Doesn't look like we're going to have as intense of severe weather as what we saw the last day or two, but it looks like we will be setting the stage for some severe weather across sections of the deep south, like in Mississippi and Louisiana and Arkansas. And once we move past Thursday into this weekend, that system moves out, and then we have a little bit of a pattern change as once we get to the end of February, we got another ridge building into the west. So we got some warm air pushing up into California and Oregon and Washington, and that is going to displace the cold air into the northeast, where it is going to be very brutally cold and possibly a couple snowstorms as well to start off the last day of February. This won't last super long though, but it will kill any severe weather chances through the weekend and at the start of your next week. I think the first day or two of March is going to be coming in nice and quietly. So probably in like a lamb, out like a lion possibly. Well, guess we'll find out. So looking ahead, this is what we're highlighting for your Thursday. This could and likely will change, but right now I'm thinking just south of Memphis all the way to maybe near Shreveport and down towards Alexandria and just to the west of Jackson, Mississippi. Hail and gusty winds are going to be your main threats for your Thursday, and then after that things will be quiet for your weekend. So feel free to follow us on all of our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We do our live coverage, of course, on YouTube and on Facebook. We do Instagram stories and Facebook stories. We tweet pretty regularly, and you can follow us as well on LinkedIn and TikTok. And you can give us a call, 855-334-4245. We've been answering phones all morning since about 4 a.m., and we'll continue to answer them for the rest of your day. Any questions you have, you guys got to set something up, get yourselves off and rolling here as storm season now is upon us at the very end of February. So make sure you guys don't get left behind. Email us as well if you don't feel like talking on the phone, or you can also visit our website and message us directly on there. We're here to help and get you guys rolling to kill it in 2022. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully, depending on how weather is here in Oklahoma City. Have a great day.